Good morning, all of you. In the last lecture, in subject of electronic circuits, we have learned some basics of frequency response of any amplifier, as well as we have solved one numerical that is based on the common source amplifier with source resistor. Now, today we have to continue the topic of the frequency response. So this point we have taken at the last minute, low frequency response, and I hope all of you have drawn this circuitry. This would be also come in learning for today's lecture. So if you have to be see as per the topic low frequency response. So low frequency response, the component responsible for this is coupling capacitor. So in the slide you can easily see this is the coupling capacitor C1, C2 and bypass capacitor. These three are responsible for the lower cutoff frequency of the MOSFET based common source amplifier. Now, if we have to be see, we have already seen, just I am taking a quick revision. What is the effect of the coupling capacitor C1 on deciding the lower cutoff frequency? So this is the formula for lower cutoff frequency FL1, that is equal to 1 upon 2 pi R signal plus Ri into C1. So here C1 is playing a major role, that is the coupling capacitor in the input network of the common source amplifier. And Ri is nothing but the parallel combination of the R1 and R2. Okay. And when you have to be define this formula, you can easily derive a network, AC equivalent network, that would be representing the effect of this coupling capacitor C1, and this is the network you can see here. Up to this point we have learned. So when you have to be see the effect of C1, so you can replace the whole active device, means the MOSFET and the other part of the circuitry, by a system shown by the black box, and the left hand side of this is the input network of your amplifier. And when you have to be see here, inside this box you can consider a resistor, that is nothing but a input resistor of the amplifier or active device, that is Ri. So in this way FL1 is 1 upon 2 pi R signal plus Ri into C1. Okay. Now we have to be come to the other coupling capacitor and their effect to deciding the lower cutoff frequency. So the for coupling capacitor between the active device and the load network has been be seen on the figure number 26 would be result, and the resulting cutoff frequency would be FL2 1 upon 2 pi R0 plus R. So what is the resulting network if you have to be see? This is the resulting network at the output side. So in this output network, if you have to see the effect of the C2, this coupling capacitor C2 is that RL is the load resistor that is connected to the amplifier, right hand side of the C2 between the terminal and the ground terminal you can see. And R0 is what? R0 is a parallel combination of the drain resistance and the finite output resistance of the MOSFET. So this is your R0, that is appeared like this for this network. And when we have to be see this particular circuitry, the formula would become as FL2 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi R0 plus RL into C2. That is defined here. Okay. So note down the diagram as well as the formulas also. R naught is RD plus R naught that I have already told you. So this is the diagram, and for this diagram, you have to see this is the formula defined by the equation 3. So FL1, FL2, both are responsible for deciding the lower cutoff frequency FL. We have seen the lower cutoff frequency position on the frequency response curve in the previous lecture. That is 3 dB less than the maximum gain. Now come to see the effect of the third capacitor, that is the bypass capacitor, for deciding the FL or lower cutoff frequency. So this is the network because of this bypass capacitor. All the network diagram are important, so please note down this all networks. Okay, and if you have to be see this compare this network with the amplified circuit, you have to be realize that this R equivalent is what? When you have to be observing the resistance offered by this MOSFET or amplifier circuit, when you're looking from the output to source terminal of the MOSFET. So this R equivalent would be there. This R equivalent is appeared like this. R equivalent would be appear like this. Okay. So if you have to be see this particular network, so what would be the formula is coming now? 1 upon 2 pi R equivalent into CS. Okay. So this is the formula would become. Now we have to be see what do you mean by the R equivalent here? Is it a source resistor only, or some other parameters would be also affect the value of the R equivalent? So if you have to be see the formula of R equivalent, first of all, the cutoff frequency defined by the bypass capacitor FLS is equal to 1 upon 2 pi R equivalent CS, and here the term R equivalent is what? Nothing but your combination of source resistor, transconductance, finite output resistance of drain resistance of the MOSFET, and the you can see the drain resistance and the load resistance. All this would be appeared when you are looking the amplifier from the source output to source terminal. So this is complex equation of R equivalent, but for the simplification, that formula we can remember easily. What we assume, we would be assume that this RD or finite output resistance here we have taken of the MOSFET, it would be considered as ideal condition, and that is considered very large, or ideally it is infinite. If you consider this value for RD, then what happens? This equation of R equivalent would be simplified. Okay. How it would be simplified? So you can see here, when RD is very large as compared to RD parallel RL, so this would be negligible as compared to this RD. Again, 1 would be negligible as compared to GM-RD. So here in the denominator, RS upon 1 plus RS GM-RD upon RD. So RD would be cancelled out. So remaining term would be what? RS. Remaining term would be RS upon 1 plus RS GM. Only this term would be remain. So you can consider R equivalent as RS parallel 1 upon GM. So your R equivalent would be depend upon the source resistor as well as the transconductance of the MOSFET. And in this way, we have defined 3 formulas for lower cutoff frequency. and that would be a deciding factor to define the final value of the FL. So in the frequency response curve, you have seen one of the term, that is FL, lower cutoff frequency, that we have seen the last lecture. So in this case, FL, this was the term we have defined, the FL is there when your gain is decreased by, maximum gain is decreased by the 3 dB. Okay, this is the point. So this FL is nothing but the combination of the effect of FL1, FL2 and this FLS. Okay. Now we have to be moved to the next slide. That is, we have to find out the value of FH. What components are responsible for deciding the value of FH? That is upper cutoff frequency in the frequency response of the amplifier. So if we have learned that FL is depending upon the coupling capacitor as well as the bypass capacitor. Okay, but if you have to see the upper cutoff frequency, it would be depend upon the inter-electrode junction capacitance of the MOSFET as well as wiring capacitance of the circuitry and the stray capacitance. So before going to define the formula of FH, we have to be first learn one of the effect that is helpful for defining the upper cutoff frequency. So what is the theory? That is called the Miller effect. This is very important theory behind to learn the concept of high frequency response of an amplifier. And this theory is valid for MOSFET based amplifier, BJT based amplifier and JFET based amplifier. All these three kinds of the devices based amplifier, this theory is common. So first of all, we have to be learn this theory and then we have to be learn how to find out the FH. So it is mentioned here, the high frequency response reason, the capacitive elements of importance are inter-electrode capacitances internal to the active device. Here the active device is what? MOSFET, and the wiring capacitance between the leads of the network. Okay. The large capacitors of the network that are controlled the low frequency response. What are the large capacitors? Coupling C1 and C2 and bypass CS. It has been be now replaced as a short circuit for high frequency reason, because at the high frequency these large capacitors would be offer a very low reactance level. Okay, so in the high frequency reason we would be replace the bypass and coupling capacitor as a short circuit. And here only the effect of inter-electrode capacitances and wiring capacitances as well as stray capacitances. Practically the value of inter-electrode capacitances and wiring capacitances is very low in picofarad. That's why it would be not come into the picture for the low frequency response. So what I have told you that in the Miller effect, we have to be learn the high frequency response of them. Now we have to be draw this circuitry that would be useful for deriving the all equations related to the Miller effect. So everyone draw this diagram, please. This is a network employed in derivation of the equation for Miller input capacitance. And here we are defining the Miller effect for inverting amplifier, that is common source amplifier, where the output voltage is out of phase with respect to the input signal. And in the defining the Miller effect, you have to see what are the important factors. The important factors are inter-electrode capacitances. So if you have to see what is the inter-electrode capacitances, the capacitances develop between the input terminal and the output terminal of the device. So for the common source amplifier, we are using N-channel enhancement type MOSFET. The input terminal is gate and output terminal is drain. So this capacitance, inter-electrode capacitance is here CGD. The capacitance developed between gate and drain terminal. So that the capacitor is shown here by the CF, feedback capacitance, because it would be create a feedback network between output node and input node. Suppose we have given the name to this nodes, A as input node and B as the output node. So across the A we have the input terminal, across the B there is the output terminal. So output voltage is here V0 and input voltage is Vi for this amplifier. And this CF is a feedback capacitor that is connecting the output to input terminal or input to output terminal. Now, if you have to be see there, Zi is input impedance of the amplifier network. Ri is the input impedance of the active device. And Ii is the current that is generated from the Vi and flow into the network. And when this current is reached to the node A, it would be subdivided according to the KCL. It would be subdivided into two branches. First is I1, that is the current flown into the active device, and I2, that is the current start to flow towards the feedback capacitor. Okay. Now from this particular node A, we have to be use the KCL. So what is the relationship between this? Here II is equal to I1 plus I2. That you will be see from this slide. So here II is equal to I1 plus I2. So using the Ohm's law, what is II? Vi upon Zi, and what is I1? That is Vi upon R1, Ri. Now we have to define the I2. What is the I2 is here? If you have to see this diagram, what is the I2? I2 is the current. So as per the Ohm's law, voltage upon impedance or resistance, you can say. So what is the voltage across this I2? That is the voltage difference of Vi minus V0 or V0 minus Vi, whatever the way you have to take. The difference of output upon minus input voltage upon the reactance offered by this capacitor, that would be responsible for defining the I2. So that we will be see here. So I2 is equal to what? I2 is equal to Vi minus V0, the reactance offered by this capacitor XCS. So what is V0? As per the general amplifier formula, V0 is output voltage. So it is equal to input voltage into voltage gain. So that's why here AVVI is mentioned here. And we have to be finally define 1 minus AV into Vi upon XCF. So after substituting, we obtained what? What do we substitute? We have to be substitute the value of I1 and I2 on this formula II. So it would be become Vi upon Zi is equal to Vi upon Ri plus 1 minus AB Vi upon x. All up to, you have to be, please note it down, all the equations. Now we can see that Vi is common to LHS and RHS side. You can further write it as 1 upon Zi is equal to 1 upon Ri plus 1 upon XCF upon 1 minus AB. We can write this equation like this also. What is the purpose of this? We have to be seen in the next equation. So in this way, we have to be define the input impedance of the amplifier. That is the summation of input impedance of the active gas plus reactance offered by the capacitor, feedback capacitor. Okay. Now we have to see how to resolve this equation. So in the term, second term of this, the equation of Zi is the term XCF upon 1 minus AB. That would be also write as reactance means what? 1 upon omega C. Reactance offered by capacitor is 1 upon omega C or 1 upon 2 pi FC. So here instead of 1 upon 2 pi F, we have used 1 upon omega. Omega, this factor. So what is this factor is here? This is the reactance of Cm. Cm means Miller input capacitance actually. What is the Cm is? This whole term 1 minus AB into Cf is the Miller capacitance. It is Miller capacitance. So this whole is what is reactance offered by the Miller capacitance XCM. Now that equation could be again rewrite as 1 upon Zi is equal to 1 upon Ri plus 1 upon XCM. So the equivalent network, as per this equation, what should be the equivalent network? We have to be see here. We have defined this all for the Miller input capacitance. Now we have finally come to the conclusion 1 upon Zi is equal to 1 upon Ri plus 1 upon XCM. So as per this equation, this is your input network would be converted like this. So Vi would be remains as it is, Zi would be remains as it is, Ii would be remains as it is. Only the feedback network has been replaced by Miller capacitance. So this feedback capacitance has been divided into two parts. First part is appeared across the input network of the amplifier, and second part would be appeared on the output network. So here we are defining the input network. So CMI actually it is. So CMI is what? 1 minus AB CF. That would be appeared across this Ri, parallel to Ri. Okay, note it down please. Now we have to be, from this whole discussion we can define Miller input capacitance. So what is the Miller input capacitance actually? CMI is equal to 1 minus AB CF. So Miller input capacitance is also depending upon the voltage gain of the amplifier. So at the high frequencies, from this equation it is proved that your voltage gain is a function of CM1. Okay. So is it clear for all of you? Please reply. Now we have to be moved for the next section, that is output section. The Miller effect would be also increase the level of output capacitance, which must also be considered when we have to be calculating the higher cutoff frequency. So now we have to be define the output Miller effect, and the network for this defining the output Miller effect is very much similar to the previous network. Only the difference is that instead of input current, we have now considered the output current I naught, and now I naught is coming from the output terminal or generated from the output voltage V naught, and that would be subdivided into two branches. One is toward the active device I1, another is I2, that is across this feedback capacitance, and R0 is the output resistance appeared across the active device. Ideally, this R0 is very large, nearly infinite for this MOSFET. Okay, now we have to be analyze this circuitry also as in the previous circuitry. So first of all, we have to be again is the KCL. I0 is equal to I1 plus I2. We have to be define I1 and then I2. So what is the I1? It is very much clear, V0 upon R0. But what is I2? Again, V0 minus Vi. In the previous case, I2 is Vi minus V0, because we are looking from the input side to the output side. Now we are looking from output to input network. So it is V0 minus Vi upon the reactance offered by the feedback capacitor CF. And here I have told you that as per the MOSFET property, output resistance is very much large. So what we would be do here, if it is large, so we can consider I1 is very much small. It is very much small. So we can ignore the effect of I1 in this particular equation. So I0 is now equivalent to the I2. So I0 is equal to V0 minus Vi upon XCF. Again, V0 is could be written like this, AVVI, and it is coming as 1 minus AVVI upon XCF. Okay. Here the negative sign does not affect because it is a current equation. Do not confuse by that if there is a negative current or positive current. That's why I have not shown in the equation. Now Vi is V0 upon AV, we know that. So I0 would be become what? One minus 1 upon AV into V0 upon XCF. So this is very important relationship for defining the Miller output capacitances, the value of I0. Okay. Please note it down. Now we have to be define the Miller output capacitance from this equation. See how. So I0 upon V0. We have to be just take the V0, the LHS side. 1 minus 1 upon AV upon XCF. And now invert this equation, V0 upon I0. So it would be become XCF upon 1 minus AV. XCF is the reactance offered by the CF. So that is 1 upon omega CF. That is 1 upon omega this particular section CF into 1 minus 1 upon AV is CM0. That is Miller output capacitance. Like similarly to the Miller input capacitance, we have defined the Miller output capacitance. So this equation would be result in defining the Miller output capacitance CM0. That is equal to CF into 1 minus 1 upon AV. So in the case of Miller input capacitance, that was proportional to the AV. and here it is 1 upon AB, proportional to 1 upon AB. So this is the just difference between both of them. And if AB is generally for the amplifier gain is always greater than 1, but if it is suppose very much larger than 1, then the above equation could be also write as CMO is equivalent to the CM. In the output network, Miller output capacitance is equivalent to the feedback capacitance. Okay. So in this way we have defined CMI, that is 1 minus AB into CF, and CMO, that is CF into 1 minus 1 upon AB. By the help of this concept, we would be solve the problem of inter-electrode capacitances and wiring capacitances that affect the gain of the amplifier in the high frequency region. Okay. Without using the Miller effect, it is very difficult to resolve the equation of the amplifier behavior in the high frequency region. So for today, you have to just draw this high frequency response of MOSFET amplifier. This is a very important circuit diagram. Okay. So this diagram would be not in any reference book. I have just created it by myself. So just draw it. Now the time is 2 minutes nearly. So it is very difficult to cover it all. But I will be continue this topic on this next lecture. First of all, you have to draw this diagram. So I also open the Google form for the attendance, that would be on up to 12:40. Please note it down the circuitry, or any question if you want to ask, you can also ask. So if you have to see in this diagram, this is generally a voltage divider bias based common source amplifier using the N channel MOSFET. Okay, and here if you have to see, apart from the regular amplifier diagram, what are the extra components shown here? These components are inter-electrode junction capacitance. The capacitance developed between the gate and drain, that is CGD, that is having very less value, only appeared at the high frequency region. Then the capacitance appeared between the drain and source, that is CDS, and the capacitance appeared across the CGS, gate to source terminal. Similarly, the wiring capacitance developed between this wire and the ground, and the wiring capacitance output network also. So this would be affect the high frequency voltage. Okay. So for today, I bind up it here, but for the next lecture we have to be continue this. So we have to learn also this circuit as well as the source follower circuit. Okay, thank you, all of you.